everybody. Hi, welcome. It is Sunday. Some people are busy watching the World Cup, and I'm not a fan myself, but I do appreciate that people are really excited about it, and it is kind of exciting, right? Certainly a lot of enthusiasm and excitement for that competition on the field. It's a very good thing. I'd rather keep it on the field than out in the out in the world. So just checking in this morning. Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron have wanted me to do a live broadcast. Going forward, it seems as if the time in a way doesn't even matter. Like I think that I'm going to do these on every Sunday, for instance, and then she'll say, no, not this week, we'll just really wait until Thursday or Friday. And then thus there's the spontaneity of, oh, you mean you want me to have a live video now? And he says, yes, it's time. So I've been trying to record them, get them onto the YouTube channel so that people who are surprised by the spontaneity of those events are able to access those. But I do want to say welcome and let you know that today, in the spirit of the friendly nature of the universe, we're talking specifically about energy. And that is energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. So this is something that's become quite ordinary in our language, in our usage, and lots of images of Einstein, and we know he was brilliant. But however, the angels are wanting me to call attention to each of your parts of brilliance as well. And so part of the discussion today is, how brilliant are you? You're very brilliant. Very, very, very intelligent. In fact, it could be that when Einstein passed over to the other side, what if, rather than this mystical notion of the soul, what if his intention was to master the providing of intelligence to every single soul that lived on Earth, either before or after his arrival here? So we could talk in terms of Einstein's biography, when he lived and when he was born, where he was born, his experiences in Germany, and how those came to be magnetic or magical, leading him in a desperate way out of World War II to the United States, where a lot of his scientific know-how and knowledge was in possession of the United States. But guess what? When he passed over, his soul or his will made a determination that he was going to disseminate that brilliance and intelligence to every single soul on this earth. So guess what? Each of you, all of us actually on earth, I don't know, some of you may know, 7 billion people on the earth have access to Einstein's wisdom and genius through the quantum level. Well, that's pretty exciting news. And so, not only with Einstein, but there are other great celebrities and people who have passed over who really want to help our Earth and this planet at this time. So, speaking though, currently on the topic of E equals mc squared. So we all know that E stands for energy. And some people who are naysayers or non-believers in New Age or quantum mechanics and how that affects consciousness or belief systems or manifestations in reality, what we call 3D reality, um, they will ask, well, what is energy really? Well, because they may have more of a physics background or scientific know-how to be able to define what types of energy there are. And from their perspective, there's lots of different types of energy, right? There's electromagnetic energy. There's, energy that comes from a nuclear fission or fusion, such as the energy that comes from our sun. There's heat, friction, gravity could be considered an energy. So, yeah, so they look at us who are quote unquote new agers and say, oh, get over it. Like, what do you know about energy? You're just one of those woo-woo people who has no sense of real logic. Well, guess what, folks? Today, now's the time. We get to claim a little bit of Einstein's intelligence. So there. And we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about what is it that we mean when we talk about energy. And before we get there, and to be quite frank, the angels are really leading this discussion. So much in the way like Abraham Hicks does. I've been practicing channeling with my eyes open and looking at the camera and talking. So really I'm being guided by Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron with some weighing in through Archangel Gabriel. And I'll let you know if other guests appear. Or you may also, I'm open. If you guys have questions or thoughts, please do feel free to type them in. I can see your comments here on the screen. So, hello everybody, and welcome. The next part of that formula, energy equals mass. So we know generally what mass is, right? So mass is that carbon-based substance that we experience every day here on Earth. It's the food that we eat, the bodies that we inhabit, the clothes that we wear, the table that we sit at when we have our coffee, all those things, right? We know matter. And we know that based on a lot of the research that's coming out from modern day physics, that matter also has space in between. So it's not just densely packed bits of atoms and molecules that are smashed together without any interstellar space, so to speak. So we know that matter also has what is termed, though there's more discussion about this, dark matter. And dark matter isn't that icky, scary stuff that we hear about, like the dark forces. Those could be kind of scary and intimidating. This is more dark matter just in relation to the absence of something taking up that space. So it's actually the space between the lines, if you will, or emptiness, stillness in a metaphysical way. That may be what we could even imagine as where stillness is between those junction points of 3D carbon-based matter. And that is also where quantum events happen, is in that space between the notes. So if I were a musician, I might speak in terms of the melody, and then I may speak in terms of the vibration or the harmonizing that occurs in the silence between the notes. And that is the stillness that we're looking for when meditation teachers will discuss with me or with others about getting into that stillness that is the space between. And in terms of our bodies, so often we're apt to judge our own bodies, right? We're in a culture where body awareness is very, very much front and center. And so we're like, we're in bodies. So what? It's fine. It's okay. And that is magic. Maybe I'd like to say the more body mass I have, the more magic I can create. Maybe I'd like to say that. Because I have more interstellar space. All right, so energy equals mass. So we have a general idea or a concept of what mass is, and that is that carbon-based molecule. It has 4 carbons that create the structure within which energy can move. That's really it. So light, let's move over to light. So the angels are asking me to speak with clarity about light, which I have very little knowledge about. So I feel a little nervous talking about that because although I have worked with consciousness, I've studied it, certainly believe in that, and I believe in a soul, and I believe in the interaction of the soul where it meets matter and is defined by movement here on this planet Earth. I believe all that, but I'm curious to see where the angels are going to take this conversation about light. So, first of all, they're saying to not be confused. They want us to imagine that light is coming to us, first of all the time, that we are magnetic. I'm not going to even ask them what they mean by that yet, but we'll get back to that. So we are magnets to light, and light is coming to us in small packets all day, every day, even throughout the nighttime. So even if we're visually on the other side of the sun, so the sun is on the other side of the earth and creating nighttime, obviously, we're still receiving some small packets of photons, which are arriving on wavelengths. So these are miniature waves, or sometimes large elongated waves, that exclusively come into our physical manifestation of our body. And let's say it's noon, like it is now, and so the sun is directly above us in the sky, and it is really directly influencing the number of packets of light that are coming to our physical body. And so many of those we receive through our eyes, but then also it passes through our skin, through our clothing. And it could be that light is seen as one of those consciousness packets. So imagine, if you will, they're saying, that the packets from the sun also have intelligence. And that intelligence is coming to us in wavelengths all day, every day, actually night and day. And if we're open to receiving it, then that happens in the stillness between the mass that is our physical presence in our bodies. So essentially, the more space that we can create in our physical presence, the more light packets we can receive. And if each of those light packets have intelligence, guess what, folks? Then the more intelligence we receive. And that could be equated to wisdom or understanding, intuition, connection with beings of higher light and higher vibration. And it is really like turning on a light switch. Once you receive a certain number of light packets into the stillness of the space between the physical body. It really is as if consciousness turns on a light. How does that happen? So that happens more through the world of the quantum, which is a very, very difficult concept to explain. And even physicists, honestly, have a hard time proving that the quantum world exists, or not to mention discussing it in layman's terms. But because we have set this platform this morning where Einstein is a part of all of us, since his passing, he's allowed all of us a little part of his consciousness. So we're going to grab hold of that so that we can become more tuned in to higher intellectual vibration. Yay. And with that vibration comes deeper understanding. And as a witness to deeper understanding, we can understand that vibrating our physical bodies allows the molecules to open up. So in the preciousness of the moment, so right now, if you were just experimenting with taking a deep breath in, allowing that to expand, and of course you feel your lungs expand and then contract, but that's a real life experience that really is happening. So in that case, the air that surrounds you is filling your lungs with a decent amount of oxygen. And we all know what it's like to contract our lungs when we're tense or stressed, and less oxygen literally can come into our lungs at that point. And so when we're meditating or relaxing or feeling grounded and feeling our feet connected to our earth, we can really expand our breath and become more prepared to receive oxygen. So now, just taking that idea and dutifully talking about light, now we just take it one step further. We become centered, take that deep breath, allowing our lungs to expand. Now we're also allowing our entire body to expand, and we say, yes, we'd like to also invite in more packets of light or wisdom. And this results in higher consciousness. And because light, in this formula, E equals mc squared, that squared means that the packet of light, unlike oxygen, so oxygen is vibrating at one frequency, while light is squared, is vibrating at a higher frequency. And we're saying, I also allow light in. That equates to higher intelligence, higher vibration for the matter body which we inhabit, which is really us. It is our experience in our physical body on Earth. Then, in essence, what's happening is our vibration is increasing, and there may be with that an intensity with that vibration. So we may be feeling a bit foolish in a way, like maybe we start to get kind of giddy, or we're smiling at things that were making us feel frustrated and unhappy even a few minutes before. So maybe you guys have done yoga, and you may know that when you start your yoga practice, you may come in with thoughts that are kind of filtered with frustrations from the day, or, oh, I've got so much to do. I can't believe I'm here in yoga class. I don't have time for this. I need to get going. I'm going to, skip through class as quickly as I can so I can get done all the errands I need to. So contrast that with being very present in the moment, taking those deep breaths, daring to stop life for a few moments, whether that's in a yoga practice or in your own home, or even if you're driving in traffic or at the grocery store, paying bills. These things can happen any old place, really. So you just relax into the moment, into the now. And what you're doing is allowing more packets of light into your senses, those five senses. As you're allowing those in, you're breathing, you're connecting, you're allowing until there's more that says yes. So guess what? The simple formula is also about saying yes to life. It's about beginning again. So every moment is new because the photons, or those light packets that are coming into your physical body, are consistently being replenished. If you think of how large our sun is, it's really vast and full of nearly infinite number of photon packets. Probably not quite infinite. But as far as we're concerned, we're so tiny compared to the magnitude of our sun. So there's no doubt in my mind that there's plenty of photon packets for everyone. And guess what, gang? They're free. Ha! Guess what? They don't cost a penny. That's the kind of learning I love. That's the knowledge that I like. It's free. So, taking a moment again to contemplate these things, taking a deep breath, opening your lungs, really breathing in through your nose, letting those shoulders drop. Me too. Allowing my lungs to expand. As I exhale, fully exhale, and I say yes to life, yes to intelligence, yes to higher consciousness, to new frequencies and new vibrations. And there isn't anything hoity-toity about this. There's nothing that is a blanket statement that every single soul on this earth can't embrace and understand, regardless of what their religious beliefs are, what they've learned in school, whether or not, to be frank, whether some people believe in angels or don't believe in angels. Really, actually, in quite a specific way, it doesn't matter, because this truly is just what is. This is the sharing of information in a direct way with the physics of life. Those of you who have been watching my YouTube channel, Water Dragon, know that I've been testing myself to learn more again, to learn again about nature. And one thing I've been witnessing is how plants are so rooted and grounded in just what is. They just are. They are there, receiving all these little tiny packets themselves, taking that information in. In the world of plants, there's photosynthesis that goes on, and they turn, by magic, I think, turn their photon packets, into sugars and energy that fuel the growth of that plant, so that in the spirit of growth, even the tiniest seed or acorn can become this mighty oak tree. How does that happen? It's incredible. It's not through discipline or hard work or labor, particularly. It's really through just the presence of being. And in that way, too, the angels are reminding me that this discussion is meant to metamorphize into the discussion of resources. So, in the case of the mighty oak tree, the oak is using resources that are available to it. And we all know from our understanding of nature that that includes minerals and soil and water, air, sunlight, that all those ingredients mix to create a mighty, majestic oak tree, which in principle goes on to feed through its acorns and its branches. So, acorns for squirrels and deer and other animals. And then its branches provide nesting habitat for squirrels and birds and butterflies and caterpillar, all sorts of animals, and shade for us. And then there's so much that goes on, which is what we think of simply as a forest or simply as a tree. The complexity is interwoven into all of life here on earth. So bringing that conversation, angels want to bring that back to the magic of the 3D world. We know that when we're out in nature, that we feel a certain peaceful quality. We feel a lack of inhibition. Science and research has actually proven that when we're out in nature, there is something that happens, particularly to our in biofeedback studies. We notice that in general, our blood pressure goes down, our heart rate's slow, even other things such as hormone levels can balance out. Um, there is something there that's a precise measurement that our bodies know and understand that sometimes our mind just cannot comprehend. And dear ones, the angels are saying, that goes beyond any reflection, again, in pertaining to religion or any kind of esoteric belief around New Age philosophy, or whether to be pagan or burn sage or incense or not, or ask for protection or not. It's really about connecting to this primary equation. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. Nature has no confusion about that. So one last thing, and then we're going to ask for questions and input from you guys if you have any questions or any feedback or comments. So that is that if all the ingredients for healthy well-being and abundance are here right now on our earth, on this planet, then what holds us back or what distracts us from achieving connection to those elements? Because ultimately and honestly, through all the prayers that the angels let me know that they receive daily, day in and day out, mainly people want to have clear speech, clear thought, the embodiment of wellness, abundance financially, to feel safe, to feel protected, nurtured, wellness, and connected either in romance or in balance with their families and friends in life. And so all of us get distracted. I get distracted. And the angels are wanting to just touch on that quickly this morning and briefly to discuss how it is that life can become this big super bomb of a to-do list that really distracts us from our day-to-day meditation, our contemplation. So to begin with, a very short, brief meditation for you guys. is to imagine that you are holding your to-do list in your hand right now. Even if you haven't really physically written one down, we all have them in our minds. So just imagine you're holding your to-do list and you're thinking, there's no way. I'm not going to ever decipher the meaning of all of this, not to mention the why of it, not to mention the how of it. So taking a moment to just have a discussion with yourself as you're imagining that you're looking at your to-do list and you're thinking, what is all these things? What is this? Taking a moment and breathing, because this discussion is about energy and vibration and frequency and what distracts us, what keeps us from health, from nurturing relationships, from abundance, from wealth, what keeps our lives free of any frustration. So taking a moment, just looking and thinking about this, about the to-do list, and ask yourself a simple question in relation in the context to this conversation. Ask yourself, why am I a magnet to light packets that are full of intelligence that are streaming towards me daily? So just think about that for a minute. Why am I a magnet to light packets of information that are streaming towards me every day? And then the angels say, rather than just refuse that, ask the next question. Why am I allowing myself to accept light packets of information to ease my confusion? So just allow yourself to ask that question. Why am I allowing myself to ease confusion by allowing more and more light packets into my awareness? And then ask, what have I been waiting for? Well, the answers are waiting for me. What am I waiting for? And then say, oh, you mean I can have as many light packets as I want? It's not about deserving or not deserving or earning or not earning. They don't cost anything. They're free. Abundant. I could just like hoard light pockets if I want to. Are you kidding? What have I been waiting for? You mean the more I have, the less disease I have? And if I have a lot, it doesn't take away from others having a lot. In fact, I can let others know this and they can also have a lot. Oh, wait a minute. Also, they don't take up any storage space. I don't need to build another closet or have a bigger house or a storage unit. You're kidding me. What am I waiting for? Has this been disguised from me for a long time? Maybe so. So, in the extraordinary presence of the now, the disclosure is there's infinite abundance of light packets. They don't cost anything. They're free. You don't take anything from anyone else by allowing tons of light packets into your life. In fact, you can teach others how to receive light packets. Call them wisdom packets. You can have as many as you want. And those light packets can be transformed into money or thoughts or ideas or friendships or children that you give to or car that you drive. You can transfer those darn light packets into anything you want. And those, frankly, are the laws of manifestation. That is what's behind all of this conversation around the secret or manifesting abundance or all these things. Pretty darn basic. We just have been in our minds, we've been convinced that somehow, gosh darn it, we had to work so hard to get our light packets. But guess what, folks? They're coming in every single day by the cajillions and zillions, quadrillions. A lot of them are just zooming right past our planet because they're unused. If you tap in to this intelligence and feel it and honor it with your own ideas of respect for one another, for honoring the other, as in namastes to others, you can say quietly. Your heart begins a journey that is beyond magical. Quite clearly, the expansiveness of nature is a good teacher. Look at how abundant nature is. In spite of our willingness to try to grab hold of and harness all those resources in nature, it continues to push forth with abundance. And that can only happen in its receiving of light. Quite literally, it's receiving packets of light, of intelligence, and it wants to share it with us. So we're no longer confused. So this is the end of this teaching for today. We'll stay online here for a little bit and see if you guys have any questions or thoughts. And then this is live. However, I will save it to my Water Dragon YouTube channel, and I will re-upload it so you guys can share it if you think it was helpful or useful information. And so much to be talked about, isn't there? And though it's really quite simple, the complexity, I believe, is in the unlearning, letting go of too much knowledge. Thank goodness for Einstein for giving us this gift. So we're appreciating with gratitude. Einstein's intelligence is distributed equally and evenly throughout our planet. And oh my God, do we need that now? So we hear you loud and clear. Albert, appreciate your gift. And I'll just kind of wait for a minute to see if you guys have any questions. You can just type them in, and I'll wait a few minutes. If not, I'll go ahead and close out the gratitude prayer. Oh, you know what else I'll do? I'm going to type in um, my website, and you guys can always visit there. I do like classes and workshops for people. Some of them are in person, some in the New Hampshire area. I'd like to do a tree hugging workshop. Um, Coming up, that'll be in mid-August for all of us who are true granola heads and tree huggers. So that'll be a 3-hour workshop here where I am in southern Vermont. And there'll be a minimum donation of $25. And in this lovely place that I'm staying, there's a kitchen, so it'll be potluck. And if you're interested, you can email me. I'll do that here. More information. And then I do go to people's homes sometimes if people get together, a bunch of folks. Then I do in-home classes, and especially I like to keep them around 3 hours. It seems like that's what's most comfortable for people. By the time we sit around and kind of chat and get to know each other, and then as a group, and then have a brief meditation usually, and then let the angels weigh in. So they'll weigh in and have an activation or a meditation based on what they feel is most important. And those are always fun too. Also potlucks, always fun to have food. I love good food and healthy vibratory food. Anyway, and then there's also different classes the angels would love for me to teach coming this fall that are mastery classes in finding your soul's alignment, attunements. If there are people from your past who have passed on that you'd like to talk to, I do individual sessions and we can call in those spirits if they're willing to come and talk and have that conversation. And then also, of course, I do private channelings too for people who are looking for specific guidance related to health or family or career or other parts of life that you're trying to sort out, or even just the what's going on in the world questions. Those could be really intense sometimes. So what I do is ask people to, if they want to schedule a session, to also schedule even a mini follow-up session, just so that the angels can check in and make sure that the new information's being integrated well and without any struggle or any formidable tasks that have come up. As you know how that is, sometimes you take off one layer, which is great, and you feel kind of immediate relief and a sense of enjoyment and ecstasy, and then the next layer comes up, and that next layer can be rigorous, and I don't know, it can happen. So sometimes we'll do like a mini follow-up with some of those sessions that are just one-on-one with the angels. Um, there also is magnetic changes that are occurring, like on the earth right now. So some people may feel some dizziness or heightened symptoms associated with that. And myself, I've been clearing out allergies, and so I'm working on detoxing and just getting my lymph system clear. Um, and what else? I guess that's all. All the news. There's a lot going on the earth at this time, as we all know. Just check back in with my Facebook page. I try to put daily updates there. And if you feel like any of this information is helpful, do visit my website. Always open to feedback. Donations are helpful. So I'm riding those waves of income that are interesting, and it's all working out, of course, but always helpful to have support too. So if you feel moved that way, I appreciate that. And looks like everyone is well, so we're just going to close with quick, um, let me just make sure here, a quick closing prayer and blessing and meditation. So just take a moment, and what Archangel Michael is saying is to take your left hand and use it as a cradle and cup your right hand into it and just lay it in your lap. And close your eyes and just take 3 gentle breaths, deep connected breaths, filling your lungs with oxygen and light. Being at peace with all that is. Take a moment and send waves of gratitude. So as you receive this light that's coming in from our sun, allowing that to enter into your heart, and without your ego, be sure to just set the ego aside. So that is no sense of outcome, no agenda, even really, in a way, no connection to a sense of purpose or who you are. Just let go of all that you know, all that you know that you are. Transform the gift that is this packet of light into pure harmony, harmonizing love, egoless, guiltless, agendaless love for this earth. Send it in a sweeping stream all around this planet. Sending love to all of the sisters and brothers, some who will always remain strangers you may never meet. Those may be people in Indonesia or China or Japan or Russia, anywhere, even your president, even those presidents that you have distaste for. Sending that peace, triangulating from where you are to those places all around the earth. Sending love in all directions throughout all time, across all dimensions, letting your ego dissolve. And say these words quietly. All is well. Peaceful now, just breathing in. All is well. stating an intention, regardless of what your mind thinks it knows. All is well. Peace be evermore throughout space and time. And with a closing sense of gratitude for all of our experiences here on this planetary sphere, grace and gratitude, then blessings to you each one of you as your day unfolds. For truly is the beginning, the beginning, the beginning, the beginning of your life unfolding every moment. So peace from the angels to your hearts evermore.